Howdy, howdy, welcome to Paint Minis Live. I'm your host, Ability, and I'm coming at you from the Creation Cave. Tonight we're going to be working on Cal's Abyssal Dwarves. Once again, we're getting really close to the end of this project. Like, very close. I think all that is left is, like, some Stragglers. Really, it's like a couple models. We also have just a few details to do for... like the orc war boss that is wearing a skull as a helmet. So we're gonna jump into that in just a moment. I'm gonna get some tunes going, and we will be on our way. But welcome again to Paint Minis Live. It's good to see everybody. Looks like we already got somebody coming in in the live chat. Give me just one moment while I get the background playlist going. Let's pick something random. There we go. All right, well, that's pleasant. Oh, wow! Talk about a week. Missed Thursday's stream, I believe. I was having some technical difficulties on Thursday, and it was just some updatey stuff with web browser and how the like StreamYard functions. It was not playing well, so I'm happy to be back live with everybody on this happy Monday, and so yeah, that's good. Just a heads up, Wednesday night. James F. Keck and crew, they are going to be gone. Everybody's schedule is a little booked up, so we're gonna be skipping Roleplay Wednesday this week. Instead, I think we're gonna be doing some seal coating on a lot of these minis. They're gonna get double matte varnished. So Wednesday is kind of just gonna be a technical day with sealing the minis and whatnot. And just kind of hanging out. I think we're just going to have a good time here at Paint Minis Live, as always. Hello, Road March. How you doing? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. What's new? What's new with you? Just kind of going over some of the usual stuff, some updates and whatnot currently. I think Thursday, I'm hoping we're done with Cal's Abyssal's Dwarves by Thursday. That's my hope. Because I'd like to start working on some other models that I've got in the works. Some personal project stuff, as well as finally being able to set up TJ's... oh boy. Overseer? No. Observer? No. That's not it either. Beholder. There you go. Yeah, TJ's Beholder. I'd like to set that project up too. So, just some stuff going on with Paint Minis Live. Anywho, we're here to paint, and that's what we're gonna do. Let's get ready to get into it. I'm gonna check out these guys here. We're gonna get our dwarf or our orc captain out, and then we'll take a look at other models that need some care, some TLC. Alright. There is El Captain. Good. I should probably get my other camera going, huh? Let's see here. Extra camera. Oop. Also, we now have the world's most medium keyboard. That was an upgrade over the world's tiniest keyboard. I was running the show off of this bad boy, this keyboard. That's all I used to run the show. It's got like a little trackpad, and it's like a, BlackBerry like phone. But now we have an actual legitimate keyboard. because I thought it might help. Which is, you know, it's small enough I can still throw it off to the side when I don't need it. Alright. So our war boss here, we've got this guy. Let's get some. There we go. So our orc war boss here, it looks like he's pretty good. He's good. We got all the basics. All of the good stuff is going on with him. We still need to paint this skull though, so we'll be doing that. We're gonna skullificate that bad boy, make it look good. All the other orcs are looking fan-flippin'-tabulous. In my opinion. Okay, cool. So all the other orcs are good. This is when it comes down to the nitty-gritty bits. And just the little extra details. The leftover guys that might not have been painted along with the other ones. Kind of where the rubber meets the road here. Alright, so we have... Oh yeah, this guy. This happened in shipping, and I just put him in a bag. I didn't want to mess with him right off the bat, but this guy, it looks like his arm or his hand was broken in shipping. I feel like the right call is to probably try and slide some glue up in there just to get it back into form. What do I have for that? I don't have any of that really good like liquid glue with the needle on it, although I would use that for sure. Oh boy, I'm sorry to hear that, Road March. That's nobody likes being in the hospital. That sounds kind of chaotic. Sounds like a chaotic week. Well, I'm happy you're here with us. Oh, we got another orc using a skull as a helmet too. Okay, well that'll make things interesting. So we got like 4 stragglers here. The dwarves themselves are looking fine. I think these guys are looking good. I'm gonna take them off their bases then, because these are going to cowl. Just as is, no bases. We're gonna reuse these bases for the orcs and the last couple of guys. I think that's kind of why I haven't been painting them, is because they didn't have bases and they were just kind of like flopping all over the place. Since I had these laser cut bases I made prior to my laser tube shattering. Still a little bit miffed on that one. I'm hoping I can get a new laser tube soon. Alright, there's that guy. I like having dental picks handy for this kind of work. This is a DP 95, I think, 98. Sorry, 9S. There we go. Dental pick, and it's like a deep pull pick. It's kind of got this like hoe on it. My mom was a dental hygienist for years and years, and when I was painting minis, I would ask her if she had any extra that they were going to throw away, because after a certain lifespan or whatever, they throw these away at the dentist office. And they're wonderful for doing models. If you're at your dentist's office, you can probably ask them for some, and they might give them to you. Maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, it's going to depend on the dentist, but they may end up giving you some just for freezies. Because I think they may have to pay to dispose of them. They might not either, because obviously it's like kind of a biological hazard. But they are sterilized in between patients in this heated oven. It's crazy. All right. Well, thanks for lurking in the background there, Road March. I appreciate it. Feel free to listen in, and if you got any questions or whatnot, let us know. We'll be here. So I'm just gonna back the camera up a little bit. Here we go. All right. So yeah, we're just taking these guys off, so we can reuse them on the last couple of models that we have left on this project. As you can see, it makes getting the glue off of there a little bit easier anyways. I kind of like to start with not having any excess glue on these. Gun cleaning. Yeah, there you go. I don't think that's unheard of. An unheard of use for dental picks. I think I could see some folks doing that. They're great tools to have. Especially for stuff like this. Some of the more unique ones, though, are hard to get your hands on. I mean, you can still get your hands on them, don't get me wrong, but if you want seriously quality dental picks, the ones that won't break even if they're really skinny, they're kind of expensive. So like I said, go ask your dentist. Next time you go to the dentist, go ask them if they've got any ones that have run their life and are being ready to be thrown out, because they are made out of a different material that's, you can pick them up from the auto parts store, or I guess your hunting and fishing kind of thing. I'm sure they've got them in a cup somewhere. But these stainless steel ones are very nice. They also have them in titanium, I think, too. I don't think I have any titanium ones, but we've got some really strong ones for pulling stuff. What are these guys? HU. Right. Yeah. Yeah, these are just stainless steel ones, but they are really tough and durable. You can really ream on these guys, and they don't bend very well. They're very rigid. Okay, so we've reclaimed almost all of our bases that we'll use for these other models, so that we can kind of use it as an armature, so to speak, and keep all that nice paint detail fingerprint free. Next step after that is going to be probably we're going to grab our hot glue gun, plug that sucker in, and then just hot glue their feet to the bases. That's what I found has been the best way to do it. So we've got a guy with a spear. I think that's the only spearman I've seen in the dwarf dealio here. And this guy looks pretty cool. That's a pretty poppin' spear. So how's everybody doing out there in Hobbyland? What you been up to? You know, have you you know, anything interesting? You played any new games? Did you did you have any fun role-playing sessions with your friends? Did you play that pickup game of Warhammer at the store? Did you order something new that you were intrigued in? You been up to some crafting or painting, perhaps? Howdy, howdy, Dungeon Minister. Good to see you. Good to see you. How you been? How you been? Apparently about to be very busy. Well, actually, yeah. Yeah, you were about to be very busy. We're just trying to finish up some of Cal's project here. We're getting there. Oh, right. In the Feyland adventure with Bob Johnny. How's that going? Is it still through the ringer, or what's the theme been? I think the last time you mentioned that it was quite the wild ride. Just getting. Right, the car dealership. Well, hey, if that is a winning situation right there, Road March. I'm sure she is very happy to have you on her side. I'm gonna get the orcs back in their bag here. And then we will get down to business painting what we have to. I think we're going to start with the easiest one, which is, well, maybe not the easiest. Yeah, we'll start with the easiest one. We're going to go with the skull first, and then we'll probably end up taking the other two, or the other three dwarves, and giving them their color shift paint job. What's going on, Von Gifford? Good to see you, good to see you. I'm trying to keep up with the chat here. Let's see. Portal to Feyland. Oh, nice. Okay. Cool. I dig it. Oh. Oh boy, okay, yeah. Well, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Well, now we can game infinitely in the great beyond, or the hereafter. So that's, Yeah, that's always a little sad when big creators end up going on. But hey, talk about a legacy. Talk about a legacy. All right. So these are the 4 models we've essentially got left. The rest of them they're good. We got that in the bag. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this again because I love doing this. Check this out. Check out this silicone palette. Watch this. I can just boop, and that's it. This is like mind blowing to me how you can just barely even touching it, and like it's basically clean. You can just this is magic, folks. I swear, I need to figure out how to get a hold of these people and order these in bulk. Because I could definitely go for it. I mean, you can just literally lift that. Look at how clean that is. Look at how clean that is. You don't even have to use water. It just peels right off. It's magic. I feel like, what's that guy's name? Vince, the ShamWow guy. Look at that, folks. Oh my gosh. It's just magic. It's magic. I'm telling you. 1 pop, 2 pop, your paint is out of your palette. And that's the power of silicone. Call right now, $19.95. You can get yourself a silicone palette. Free up the rest of the time that you could be spending painting. You could be painting with that time, folks. But you gotta act now. I'm just gonna grab another wipe. Get this bad boy real clean. You know the Germans make good stuff. Okay, hold on. I think it's just too thick when it's folded up like that. We only need like one of these bad boys. There we go. Yeah, I mean it's basically clean with like no water. I don't think it's dishwasher safe, but like I mean that would be the only other thing this thing could have that would make it any better is like just the ability to huck it in a dishwasher. But even then I don't really care. Like that's clean enough for me. I'm good. I'm good. And that's what we ended up with. I'm sorry, I'm just amazed. I'm ShamWowed. That's what's going on here. We got 4 live chat lounge cats in the house tonight. Thank you everybody for being here. It's always good to see you. Oh man, the ShamWow spoofs are glorious. I think it was Djibouti Dubs made one that was the Snuggie, and that was great. That was awesome. Boop, boop, and boop. So you 3, you guys I need to get the Turbo Dork for. Turbo Dork. You basically need silver. This guy we can work on right now. We'll just shake up some. We're gonna go with like. Let's see, was it pale yellow? It definitely wasn't khaki. Yeah, maybe it was pale yellow. I think we're gonna go with pale yellow for the skull. And then, what's going on, grumpy old Slan? I'm so happy you've decided to come and chill with us. Always good to see some good old grumpy old Slan. Olive flesh. This one's a little bit more pink. Yeah, we'll go with the pale yellow. I think that's what I used for the claws on the dragon. I'm basically going to just run that process again. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about in a minute. PML, the miniature Bob Ross impersonator. I think I need a little bit of a higher pitch voices. You know, I need a bit more pitch to my voice. It'd be like Alvin and the Chipmunks did Bob Ross or something like that. That would be a miniature Bob Ross impersonator, right?
We don't have accidents here. We have happy little...
Or no, what is it?
We don't make mistakes here. We have happy little accidents.
So the process we're going to use is the same thing that we used in the claws for this dragon, essentially. This was a kind of this yellow, white yellow color, and then running over it with some of this Reichland flesh shade. This is essentially a brown red rust colored wash. You can see the pigment has kind of settled to the bottom there, so you can kind of get it's a rusty red, semi-orange kind of color. But when you put it over that white, it makes those nails look a bit more brown, a bit more realistic in color. It leaves a coffee stain is what I like to call it. I think a lot of folks call that coffee staining, but it's a way to tint the color, make it look a bit more like some kind of bone or whatnot. Road March is keeping me right on the honor system with that one, aren't you? Yeah. So I'm gonna be out of town this upcoming weekend, so I can't really do it then. The weekend after, my parents are coming to my place, which is quite a drive, but they're gonna be coming here, so I can't do it then either. Early April potentially, because I'll be traveling later that month to New York to see some family on Sarah's side. So that is what is going down there. So sometime in there, potentially, we'll see what happens. I'll make sure you know. I will make sure you know, Road March. I will. I might even just make an entire stream, just Road March's notification that this is happening. I'll do that for you. Don't worry, it's on the books. It is all good, Dungeon Minister. I remember those. It's one of those boys will be boys things, right? Alright, I'm gonna put this pale yellow on the shaker. We'll get this skull treated. Nope. And we're back. So we get a little bit of this yellow on here. I like this color. It reminds me like taupe or eggshell white. Well, not really eggshell. Eggshell's a bit... I mean, it has some properties of eggshell white, but not quite that. It's still a very nice color. It's basically the same color as these sponges that I use. But it does make a nice effect when you put that brown over it. It makes it look a bit more like old bone. Since when has that stopped, players? Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright. I'm going to get the majority of the moisture out of this brush, but I do want just a little bit to kind of get this paint smoothed out and ready to go. I don't want it to be too thin. If I really wanted to go hardcore, I probably would have set up to airbrush this. I'm not gonna do that though. I think that may be a little bit overkill. The brown will take care of most of the shadow work anyways. I'm gonna leave the black in the spots that, like the eyes here. I'm just gonna leave the dark black primer in there. We get a little bit of gradient though from just the fact that we're going from white to black initially. That's a trick you can use if you kind of want to create some shadows pretty quick, is just start with white. It will cover a lot of the model, but like you can still see where there's supposed to be shadows. So if you're gonna go and run the gambit and do highlights based on where the colors are falling on the model, and start with white. It's much harder to do than if you were to just dry brush with like with white, kind of do the zenithal trick that a lot of people will teach you around the YouTubes. You can do it with straight white paint too if you're coloring right over black. Okay, that's... Come on, get out of there. Okay, we tried. That's fine. Had a little bit of a misstroke right on his ear. What's that color you're painting your goblin chief? Gentle meadow? And this one is tax evasion green. Oh, Martha Stewart. I grew up watching Martha Stewart. My grandmother was like huge on Martha Stewart. I don't know. That was like an icon of cable television for a while. She was big. She was big too. Wasn't she like kind of as big as Oprah? You know, kind of like the... I think she had quite the following. Month-old cheese for greenish blue. That just kind of sounds like blue cheese to me. I'm just saying. Day-old vomit? This sounds like something from Harry Potter's Bertie Bott's Every Flavored Beans. I'm so happy I decided to have a fruit smoothie with me for tonight's stream. We're talking about week-old leftover beef and day-old vomit in the stream, or in the chat. This is great. One more little coat should do it. I don't think we gotta go too far with this. It's gonna look just fine when it's done. Just kind of want to make sure that, for the most part, it's covered. Which I think it is. And plus we have this nice super black in the background of that. We'll throw some wash on that in a couple of minutes when it's dry. You know, if I ever started a Paint Minis Live branded paint, I would probably do something as outlandish as that Grumpy Old Slan with like just crazy paint names like that. And then like put in parentheses or like smaller text underneath it what would be a normal paint name for that. Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. God, I miss bread. I miss bread so much. Bread and pasta, I miss it. Oh, good God. Yeah. But we're getting there. We are getting there. Every day we're getting a little stronger. Hopefully getting ready for that firefighting gig coming down the road. Alright, so this guy needs a little repair work going on. I think we're just gonna super glue him, to be honest. Otherwise his arm's gonna fall off in transit. Oh, where did I put the glue? There's no way I'm glueless. Oh boy. I have PVA glue, but that ain't gonna help. Huh. Well, that surely is interesting. I am currently glueless. I'm glueless and clueless. Okay, we can leave that for later. That's okay. We can deal with that later. It's not like it's gonna change in the next little bit. Flat beret green. There you go. Lounge lizard lime green. Nice. Alright. I'm dying over here. That's... yeah. I suppose, grumpy old Slan, I suppose. Oh boy. I'm gonna get the air compressor going here. Because, to be honest, this color shift paint needs to really be sprayed out of an airbrush to have whatever... I think it's like a prismatic molecule, you know? It doesn't sit flat on the surface. It stands up either straight or like it's maybe something that under a microscope looks like a triangle, so it catches the light from different directions. But it kind of needs to get sprayed. I've seen people put it on with a brush, and the effect is not quite as strong in... but if it's atomized, it's very, very much so a strong effect. Just gonna get my airbrush ready here. I'll have to remember that. So I saw some more. I saw some more news about that Halo tabletop game from Mantic. I am so ready for this. It's gonna be a skirmish game based off of like Halo multiplayer, and then but in their statement they have in there that it's going to be there's going to be more foes, I guess, in the future, which leads me to believe there's going to be more enemies and such, so the game may go from like a skirmish to a legit war game, which would be pretty cool. Yeah, they're turning tabletop into they're turning Halo into a tabletop game. That's right on the money. Well, the air compressor does its thing. We may as well look that up because it's going to take a minute to build some pressure for me. So let's just check that out real quick. See if we can't glean us some more info from that. It's always nice to maybe have a little bit of news or something fun and interesting to talk about. You're calling it Halo Flashpoint. So that is some pretty cool stuff. We watched the trailer for it a couple of streams ago. All right, so let me share my screen here. Okay, so check it out. So these are, here's the statement for you. Coming to retail fall of 2024, Halo Flashpoint is the new tabletop miniatures game set in the Halo universe. At Mantic, we've had 12 years experience in designing great futuristic skirmish experiences, so you can look forward to a dynamic game that rewards critical thinking, encourages bold playstyles, and creates some awesome cinematic events that authentically reflect the very best of the Halo universe. As well as being perfect for seasoned tabletop fans, this will also be a brilliant game to welcome first-time miniature gamers, filled with incredible pre-assembled plastic miniatures and pre-colored easy assembly terrain. You and your opponent will be taking command of highly trained Spartan fire teams that clash against each other using combat tactics and iconic weapons from the Halo universe. Once you've both mastered your battle strategies, you'll be prepared for the dangerous foes and fresh conflicts waiting just over the horizon. And then they state that the website will launch in March later on, and they'll have game demos debuting at Adepticon 2024, where you can catch them at their game booth. These are some of the, I guess, pre-assembled miniatures. So my guess is that these are, I'm not sure if they're having somebody assemble these or if they're just like one mold, you know, and it's just a single pressed mini. Kind of leads me to believe that. Pre-colored easy assembly terrain sounds nice. I mean, I wouldn't say no to that, but I've done my own paint schemes over pre-painted stuff before because sometimes it's not always the greatest quality. But this is yeah, this is kind of where I guess Halo is headed. They're really excited about this, so will Master Chief take off his helmet? Yeah, I really hope not. I almost lost my sanity at that one. So yeah, that's some news that we got from Mantic for Halo Flashpoint. I'm hoping Paint Minis Live can cover a decent amount of this Halo game as it unfolds. Just because I'd like to bring some new folks into the fold, and I'm kind of interested myself. So painting some of that stuff up would be a lot of fun. All right. So let's bring. Let's see here. How do I? There we go. I'll go full screen on that baby. All right, we got some pressure for the airbrush. Let me share with you a funny little story, friends. Okay, so here it goes. The other night, I was having a killer migraine. I think it was like Saturday night. I was having this killer migraine, and I had this kink in my back, and I think it was kind of causing it. like in my shoulder, and we have this little massage pad with these little ball things in there that go around, and they do real good at, if you lean back against it on your chair or something. It's a great massage. Usually clears up any like tension headache I'm having. Well, I charged it. We lost the charger for it a while ago, and it happens to be the same plug that I use for the spray booth, and it's like the right voltage or whatever, so it charges the battery really quick. I forgot to bring it back down, so I'm gonna have to go grab that real quick, so I can plug in the spray booth. Because to be honest, I would definitely not recommend spraying this turbo dork stuff without ventilation. I believe, yeah, they don't really expressly state it on here that it's non-toxic. I believe it's, well, if it's not on the bottle, I'm not going to believe them, but it's water-based acrylic, so it's probably pretty non-toxic, but the smell coming off of this definitely smells like something automotive grade. It's got that very semi-caustic smell. So I wouldn't necessarily, if you're gonna airbrush this, which is kind of the recommended way to do it, I would highly recommend you wear a mask, like one of those ones with the filters on it, and then have a well-ventilated room, and have all of that go outside, or something to that effect, or have like a particulate spray booth over. I can't remember the size of mine. I'd have to go back and look at it, but like, it's more than your standard kind of homemade furnace filter box. I'd recommend getting like an actual airbrush spray booth to catch the particulates, because you don't want to breathe that in. Whatever is in here, it really irritates me. So I'm gonna go and grab that. Yeah, that's why I stick with acrylics. At least I know they're non-toxic if I'm huffing them. But luckily for me, I've got a spray booth, so all of the particulates get caught there before, anywhere else in the room. It sucks through like 26, 26 cubic feet of air a minute or something like that. Ridiculous. So I will be right back. I need to go grab that though. Here we are. Now that I can actually get this thing set up. Yeah, that's what I would recommend for sure. Have a nice ventilated area. And now we can hear the thunder that is the fan on that thing. Let's see if we can get this camera to come focus. There we go. Alright. I think maybe at some point in time here I will have to figure out where to move the microphone or just get a shotgun mic. Alright. So we got air pressure, we got ventilation, we got everything we need to paint. We got our paint. Should maybe put that on the shaker too. We got 7 live chat lounge cats in the studio. Welcome, welcome everyone. Let's get this other camera set up. Alright, so pardon all of the absolute wind. I try and cut that out as much as I can, but it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Alright. So let's go to the spray booth. So again, we're using Turbo Dork 4D Glasses color shift on these Dwarves. This is a fun color. I enjoy it. It's like a purple. I don't know how to describe that bad boy. It's like teal, like a teal. Starts with teal, moves to blue, and then ends with purple, depending on the light. And it works really well for like your local game store CFL. I think CFM bulbs. I think that's what it's CFL or CFM, one of the two. You know, your standard kind of overhead bulk lighting you'll find. I'm going to use some airbrush flow improver. I tend to use Vallejo. Use whatever you got. I've used Aztec too. They have a thinner that's pretty close to Flow Aid in my opinion. So we're going to start with a couple drops in the airbrush. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, maybe a couple more. Boop, boop. We're going to need a little bit of this. And I'm skipping ahead of myself. Okay. Move you in there. Bam. Come over here, friends. Look at the messy desk. Now look at the models. Now look at me. Now look at the models. Now look at the messy desk. Okay. There we go. Alright. I want to leave you there for a split second. I totally forgot the thing that I was going to pull the hot glue gun out for. I got so wrapped up in the conversation. Alright, so we got our hot glue gun here. I'm going to give this just a quick second to warm up. And then we're going to use some of these bases for these guys, because otherwise when I spray this down, I'm just going to be pushing my fingers right onto that wet paint. And it's going to be a hassle. So we need 3 and 4 bases for our friends to sit on. The orc's already kind of got one. I'm not really worried about him, but these other guys, kind of worry about them. I was so sure of myself, too. I was like, you know what, the next step in all this is just airbrushing that transparent bit. No. Okay, we're definitely getting there on the heat part. If you happen to be curious, tonight's fruit smoothie was mango, strawberry, blueberry, a little bit of milk, and banana. That's what it was. It's kind of funny. This is like one of the only channels, you know, a lot of people, this would be like one of the only channels that people would enjoy watching paint dry. I guess there's that to hang my head on. Welcome to Paint Minis Live. We enjoy watching paint dry. Oh, there we go. We're getting close, friends. I just saw the first little dribble. Yeah, we're gonna leave this guy's arm broken until I can get some super glue. We'll work it in. I can paint over it. We'll make it part of his hand. I'll get some good glue. Maybe tomorrow I can run somewhere and get some good glue. I'm gonna put just a little dabble do ya on that. Pull the stringy bit off. Nice. Alright. Doesn't have to be much, just has to keep the model on there. I'm gonna do that again with this guy. A little dollop there on his foot. Run the stringy bit off. Stick him on the base. Repeat the zip process. I'm gonna DQ dollop these bits of super glue. Alright. Cool beans. We got that guy stuck onto one too. Cool. Alright. That's all we needed that for. Ooh, hello. Alright. Leave that off to the side to cool. Now we can get back into what we were doing earlier. Back to the spray booth. Let's see. we'll get you guys maybe a bit more in there and a bit more upright. There we have it. Fun. Came for the music and the jokes. Well, I hope we didn't disappoint. All right. So we'll turn on the jet engine and we'll let her rip. I'm going to put the paint in the cup. All right. So I'm probably going to stick this. There's about 6 drops of paint in the cup. We're going to use maybe 3 or 4 of this Turbo Dork stuff. It is absolutely wild what this stuff looks like. Right out of the pot, you can kind of see there, it's like a yellow kind of color. 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be enough with our flow aid in there to make this work out just fine. Take our handy dandy little sponge. We'll just go ahead and I'm gonna let it bubble inside the cup there to mix. And we're just pulling back a little bit on the trigger to reintroduce the air back into the cup. So now when you spray this, it's clear. Like, I can put this on my glove and you really don't see anything. And just, you can barely see a hint of it. It's like some kind of fairy dust or something you'd see at, you know, like a face painting booth or something. But when you start to put it over this, and you have to kind of work it in layers, you'll eventually see the transition. Let me bring you in here. There we go. This is designed to be sprayed over black. Again, I can already kind of smell it a little bit, but it's not bad. Oh, if I can keep this in the shot, that's what I have to remember. Hold her steady. There we go. You start to see, you can kind of see it there where it's purple in some places, like his hand over here, and then the back of his chest there. You can see where it's purple, and then you can see the green and the teal. That's kind of, yeah, kind of turquoise. It's a really cool kind of product. I want to try out some of their other ones, but their paint is pretty expensive, I'm not gonna lie. I could definitely see this on like somebody's automotive piece. Like, if you're into model cars or something, I could see this definitely being on, like, a Bugatti kit, or, like a Night Runner. If you did, like, a real thin coat on it, you could make it into a very cool, model car piece. For me, though, we're gonna lay this on to a decent sheen here. I may even need to refill this for the next model. As you see, as we kind of build up, well, careful. There we go. As we kind of build this up, each layer is so thin with the airbrush that it's dry. By the time I move back to it, it's basically tacky, and will hold the paint further. Again, this is a paint that I definitely wouldn't have kids touching. It is very, I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily endorse the non-toxicity part of this. I very well could be wrong, but just when it's atomized like that, like this, doesn't smell very non-toxic like standard acrylic paint. You know, if you've ever, not that I'm suggesting you sniff it, but for me, I'm sitting here painting next to the spray booth and atomizing acrylic paint quite a bit. You can smell when it's non-toxic. It smells like distilled water most of the time. Distilled water, and I mean the acrylic binder that's in there you can smell too. It's got a distinctive scent. It doesn't really have that as much. I don't know if they've got some kind of, I don't know what is in here. But I don't smell it very much either. Because again, most of this is just getting sucked into the spray booth. Okay, I think this guy's pretty good. We've got him up to a decent sheen. That's about where. Let's see where our other guys are sitting. Just gonna stick this over here. Back in my day, we only had brushes. We had brushes, sticks and hair. That's what we had, and we had to share the hair. So this is our finished product, and this is the piece we just did. And I think they are pretty similar. I kind of wanted their whole shtick to be that their armor was made out of mithril or something, and that's kind of why I went with this particular paint scheme. I hemmed and hawed over it just because of how it looked very synthwave for sure. I think Cal must have a cat or something, maybe, or it's just some straggly bits, maybe from the hot glue gun, I'm not sure. With an airbrush, if there's any object that's blocking the path of the paint, you'll see it. So, like, little hairs and stuff will do that. There's another one under his hand. So I try to get those guys off of there. Cool beans, that guy's good. There's the hot glue. Just trying to get that, you can see that right there. Trying to get that guy out of the way. This hair was actually primed into the model. I'm not gonna lie, working over this bright blue background is kind of nice. You guys can see a lot of the detail of the model with the background. Hey, how's it going, Lightmane? It's good to see you. We're doing some color shift paint on these dwarves currently. What you been up to these days, Lightmane? Anything fun? I sent you a little message over on the Discords. Not sure if you've seen that yet. No, I think you have like 2 accounts on there, so I shotgunned them to both. Or maybe it's a different Lightmane. I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah, just let me know if you got it. That's all I'm worried about. Well, I thank you very much for that compliment there, Von Gifford. I do appreciate it. And I hope so too. I've got some stuff in the works. I keep saying it. It's just a matter of time, friends. Just a matter of time. That's really all it is. Okay, we're gonna take a break. Maybe this thing's having a hard time keeping up. Alright, so yeah. We're gonna take a quick break. I'm just kind of want to let this clear out a little bit since I'm spraying it on a little bit heavier than I normally would, just for time's sake. Alright, hey, Good to see you, Grumpy Old Slan. Thanks for joining us. Always great to see you. Yeah, I'm just taking a quick second. It smells a little strong. It dissipates over, you know, a minute or two. Just gotta give the machine a second to catch up with the spray booth. All right. I'm gonna go in a little bit thinner coats this time, just so that all that air can circulate through. There should be... You should be able to see the message in your Discord there. I'll walk you through it here in a minute when I'm done getting this guy settled. How are we doing on paint? Oh, we're almost out. Just let the rest of that come out of the pot. Okay. Alright. I'll walk you through it real quick there, Light Main. Let's get... So, if you have Discord open, you're going to see all the way at the top right, right where it says Discord, under that you'll see a big old button. It'll say Direct Messages. Click on that bad boy, and you should see me somewhere in there. Paint Minis Live, or my handle, BillT117 on there. You can go ahead and click on the direct message, and you should be able to go in there and check out the message. Alright, back to zip painting. We got like one more dwarf left after this. 6 drops from the flow improver going into the brush. Or top left, yes. Sorry, excuse me, top left. Got my the other right. Give a good old shake to the paint bottle. There's a paint god dance. And there, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 to 6 ratio. And then we'll go grab our sponge here, plug the cap, and bubbles, 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 just like that Finding Nemo thing. Looks like I maybe miscounted how much flow improver was in there, so we're gonna go ahead and add a couple more drops. Looks like this is still a little bit thick. Now we're starting to mix. Okay. There we go. Alright, I think that's a completed model. We'll move on to the guy with the broken wrist. I wonder what else I could use this effect for. I feel like dungeon tiles could be kind of a cool thing to do with this. Some kind of macabre dungeon tiles with this. And just kind of going around, thin coats, thin coats. Try not to get anywhere important. So with an airbrush, everything's directional. If you don't hit it from the bottom, you won't see it from the bottom, kind of thing. I tend not to worry too much about the bottom, just because that's where all the natural shadows are going to be anyways at the game store, and probably how you pose your model anyways. It's going to be, or, you know, paint the light source, so to speak, is probably going to be from the top. So I usually don't worry too much about the bottom, but in this case we're going to worry about the bottom, just because it's this color shift stuff. It's going to look a little odd if only the top has it. Try and get the inside of his shield a little bit. Get the front of his hammer. Dragon scales, heck yeah. Now that is a good idea. Dragon scales would be pretty cool. We're gonna add a little bit more thinner to this, or just a little bit of thinner. It's still a little thick. after about the third coat, you can really see it start to pop out with this color shift stuff. That's pretty cool. Alright, I think we're going to call that good for our dwarves. They are all happy and nice and color-coded. We'll go ahead and get our orc in here. So next bit is, I have a paper cup here, just their standard, you know, hospital grade paper cup. I mean, it's got that kind of pattern on it too, even. But, and I'm gonna take, this is full of water. I'm just gonna go ahead and squirt up in there a whole bunch of water. This is gonna release any, leftover paint still in the cup. You don't want to shoot anything through your airbrush that's still left in the cup if it's, you know, paint. Especially if you let it sit for a minute, you went to the bathroom or whatnot, you don't want to run that through your airbrush. I mean, let me back up. What you're trying to prevent with this rinsing and dumping technique is you're trying to prevent flakes from your airbrush. If you're like me and I do a lot of quick color changes, there's still potentially some dry paint that's in the cup. And so when I rinse it like this and I put water and pressure in there, there's small flakes that can end up into the really tight workings in the front where the needle is and where the paint atomizes. You're trying to prevent those from going down the chute, so to speak, and being blasted out the front of it, or potentially just clogging your airbrush. So if you do this prior and then take your airbrush and run a bunch of water through it, you're going to clean out that canal that's in the airbrush, and then the cup itself, which you dumped out all the stuff with the potential dry flakes in there. The stuff in the chutes should still probably be wet enough. You add some water to it, it'll clear out the front of it. Plus you're going to want to clear the, clean the needle a little bit, so a nice helping of water helps to shoot all of that paint off the needle too. And with this stuff, it kind of has a bit of a tack to it, so I like to make sure it's nice and clean. I'm doing just a little bit more. And this is just a dump pot. It's got a little thing here with a, almost like a cotton disc. So it catches anything that could be, not so great for you into the bulb under it. Alright. Cool beans. That's how you clean your airbrush real quick between paints. Next, we're gonna go ahead and load up. We're gonna load up on silver. Let's see, which one of you is silver? Excuse me. We're gonna load up on dark silver. That's what it was. Alright, so we've got our dark silver, which is the base color For our orc friend here, we're gonna throw same idea, 5 or 6 drops in the pot. And then we'll take probably about 3 drops of this. Try and make sure I clean the cap off pretty good before I do this. You can wipe it on a piece of paper towel or something to get it clean. Again, it's just because I don't want dry paint flakes going down into the barrel of the airbrush. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3 ought to do it. This stuff's a little thicker, less runny than that color shift paint. Alright, and we'll cap with our sponge here, and we'll backflow till it bubbles. Oh, we got some bubbles. We'll just keep it there for a little bit, mixing our paint. We don't have a beat the devil out of it saying here, but bubble till your paint is mixed. That doesn't have such a good ring to it, but oh well. Alright. Let's get you guys in here. So now I'm going to take on my glove here. I'm going to spray it. You can kind of see the previous color shift color, what it does over white. It's kind of, like I said, like fairy dust or something at a spray painting booth. But I spray a little bit on my glove just to check the consistency. Looks like everything's going a-okay. I'm going to start off with some thin coats on this bad boy. We're just going to go all over. Most of this is his armor anyways, so and his weapons. So having him be mostly silver is going to be just fine. This guy's wearing a helmet even, so we can make that silver as well. Make sure we hit him from above, below, just everywhere. We're going to base the model essentially with this silver color. We'll deal with the other colors later. Just want to get something on him. Try and catch the inside of his shield as much as I can with this. Even if there's a little bit of color on there, it's going to be good enough for me. And just like that, we're getting a dark silver orc. Just like that. I mean, again, it's kind of everywhere, but that's fine. We'll deal with it. I tend to work in short bursts, but yeah, you can see that silver is kind of almost black. That's what I'm looking for. So you can see just how fast this airbrush will speed up some of these processes. I'd have been here for a while trying to work that silver, or it would have been really brilliant, I guess. But I would have been here for a bit trying to spray this, or trying to paint this with a regular brush. Plus there's no brush marks whatsoever when you airbrush, so it looks super organic. Alright. So there's our little orky poo. we're gonna give them some highlights real quick. So I'm gonna do another color change with my fantastic paper cup. Same process as before. I'm gonna rinse out all of the remaining paint in the cup and dump it into, or sorry, the color cup of the airbrush. The color cup is this bit right here, and I'm putting it into the paper cup. Then I'm going to blast some, just like a little bit of water in it. We're going to run it through the front. Some people think, some people believe that backflowing the airbrush too, where you do the same thing that I do to mix the paint, where you put the bubbles in the cup, is a good way to clean it too. I kind of think that if it's already that deep down in there, pushing it back out isn't going to help. You're probably just going to want to clean it. So if you catch a clog doing this, so now when I spray it, there's a little bit of that gray left. So I'll put a little more water in the airbrush, just a little bit, squirt. See if we can't clean that off. Now our airbrush, when I spray it, nothing's coming out. That's what we want to see. Next we'll move on to our silver color. I'm going to put that on the paint shaker real quick and I'll be right back with you. Alright. So I've got our silver. Same thing as before, right from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doublets of flow improver. 1, 2, 3 doublets of silver paint. I'm gonna grab our sponge. So like the cap on this, the needle cap on the airbrush here, it's a crown cap, so it's got these, it's 4 slices, I guess, put into it. That's why I have to use the sponge, so that I can actually cap that off. With an airbrush like the Infinity here, this airbrush has like a two-tooth, or like a this is just a needle guard, I guess, a dual prong needle guard. And so with this one, in order to make that backflow happen, all I have to do is pinch it with my fingers. It's so slight that I can just pinch it with my fingers, but it leaves that needle so much more exposed that you can end up bending the needle if you push on it the wrong way. But yeah, you can just kind of pinch that together with your fingers and it'll do the same thing that this sponge does for the other airbrush. It's just a matter of preference and how delicate you are with your tools. This one's cheaper. I use it for a lot of basing, so it's a bit easier to work with like that. And we're gonna bubble that up and mix the paint. There we go. kind of got to hold it at the right angle to get this paint mixing technique to work. Otherwise I'd show you on screen. And then you can just paint right over the silver that's already on there to see what it's going to do to it. We're going to get a nice color out of that. Yeah, you know, I've thought about it. Doing some tutorial videos and such. I'd like to put some together someday. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do with them. If I'm going to have it be something that can help fund the channel or what, but some of this stuff will probably end up being things of that nature. But yeah, I'd like to put out a simple airbrush tutorial, how to care for your airbrush, how to tell the parts. It's very, very light pressure with these highlights. You'll get a lot of paint real quick coming from this stuff. Yeah, I think that's definitely in the future. Some tutorial videos would probably do it. Just a little bit more on the top there. I mean, it's like a little dabble do you with this highlight stuff when it comes to airbrushing. You get really fast layers with this. Kind of just about being deliberate. Sometimes putting less paint on an area is better. Sometimes putting more. So it's quite reflective now. I mean, you can see, but like especially on his shield down here, you can see it's a bit darker. Up here, it's a bit lighter. Adds a little contrast. So I'm going to switch colors again, and I think I'm just going to kind of... Hey, what's going on, Scrub Sapien? Good to see you, good to see you. Yeah, that's a good that's a good point, Vaughn. I couldn't agree more. A lot of work is still done with traditional brushes. You know, you can do a lot with an airbrush, but like nothing beats having the good old basic skills. It really doesn't. I'm just gonna run a throwaway brush through the inside of this real quick here. So I should probably show you this. So when I'm getting done done with the paint session, I don't really need to clean this. It's not too dirty. It's getting there, but it's not too dirty yet. So I'll throw a little water in the color cup, and then I'll just use this. This is like an Artist Loft Necessities brush. It's a cheaper one. You get them in a giant pack. And I'll just run it through the inside of the color cup to take out any paint that might have kind of dried in there. Some of it's already there and stuck on. We'll go over that in a future topic on how to get that stuff literally off of your brush. For me, I use an ultrasonic cleaner with a readily available solution that you can get. just some simple green to get that stuff out of there. But you can already see just from agitating with the brush, it's picked up quite a bit. It's hard to tell because you can't really see it from that angle, but it picks up a bunch of stuff, and then you just dump it right into your disposable cup. Rinse a couple more times. Bam, bam, bam. And then throw it right in the blaster pot and like remove all that water out the front. I think you might like to check this one out there, Scrub Sapien. I was just eyeballing this model the other day. This was a Crimson Fist model, or like a test paint. I have some Space Marines that were broken, you know, they're broken, and so I test out paint schemes on them every once in a while, just to kind of see what I like. So this one's kind of cool. This was a test. May not be able to see it under this light, but it's got a little bit of orange on the bottom of it. I primed it in orange, or like space colors orange. Can't really see it on the camera, but it turned out with a very unique color yellow. It's still really vibrant and whatnot, but kind of cool little piece. Kind of fun. And this guy was that color shift paint too, just on a little Space Marine. Same color we were working with tonight. All right. Well, now that the jet fan is done its doing, let's get you guys over here. Yeah, that worked out. That worked out pretty well. I think this guy turned out really well, and we'll keep painting on them. We'll make them match their kin. Go through the same processes. Nice. I'm happy that the camera can pick it up. I would hope so. All right. So yeah, just again, another quick news for the channel. Roleplay Wednesday will be happening next week instead. Everybody's a little bit booked up right now, so we're gonna put a little kibosh on it this week, and move on to next week. I do just about the same thing. Anywho, so yeah, we're gonna be skipping Roleplay Wednesday this week. Instead, we're gonna be sealing these models. Hopefully, we'll just finish some of the painting. We'll do some sealing on them. We also have a massive freaking dragon that we've painted up for Bill Sylvie that has to get sealed. So we'll be sealing this giant bad boy and getting it probably all packaged up and whatnot. So kind of just a mishmash stream on Wednesday. It'd still be nice to see everybody there. I am signed up for the guac. I'm hoping to have some stuff available for the guac if I can. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Thursday, I'm hoping to get these Straggler minis, these last couple of guys, done and completed for Cal's Abyssal Dwarves, and then we can clap our hands very, very loudly through the internet so that I can hear everyone. And we'll box these guys up, and we'll get them back to California. That's my hope. That is my hope. But again, I want these to be special for Cal. I've had them for a while now, and I want them to be something that's really cool and enjoyable for him to look at with his collection. So I'm gonna take the time that's needed to do it right. What else do we have? After that, sky's the limit. There's a ton of stuff to do, like an absolute backlog of stuff to do. There will never be a dull moment here at PML. We're always going to be painting something, building something, or the like. We also have, there's ideas out there for a 12 or 24-hour live stream sometime in the near future. I think it's probably going to be 12. I think 24 hours worth of painting is going to be just too much. But like 12-hour paint-a-thon sometime in the future. We have our Warlord Titan mascot to build. I really want to do something with that because I think that would be flippin' awesome. If you guys would like to see this stuff happen on a more, on a more regular basis, the best way that you can help make that happen is literally word of mouth. If you have a friend that enjoys painting models, if you have a friend that's at all curious about it, and just wants to see how it's done, they don't have to invest in any equipment. Like I'm doing this, I'm walking people through, I'm walking you through the steps from start to finish. You see it live. It happened. You see how long some of this stuff takes, and if they're interested in painting and they just want to see the process without having to pick up a brush, without having to spend money on paints or even get models, they can get all that right here with a great community of folks too to help them along their journey to becoming a wonderful miniature artist if they so choose. And for everybody else out there, the click ding ding thing, it's beaten to heck here around YouTube, and I hate saying it because it's been beaten to heck, but do the stuff. You know what to do. But if you want to see it happen more often, that's definitely the way of doing it, because that means I can, I can afford to spend more time doing it, and I'd love to, and I can put. I can build bigger and better things, and that'll hopefully help the entire community out. I'm doing that right now with some of the stuff in the background, and I'm just itching to say stuff about it. I am. We'll have more updates very soon for everyone on that front. But we have 9 live chat lounge cats in the chat right now. And that is absolutely beautiful and wonderful. Thank you all for coming to the live. If you're in the replay, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us till the end with whatever you were doing. If you had us on in the background, or if you're just watching to chill out and have a good time, I appreciate it to everybody that supports PML. If you want more fun stuff, check the little red bar. You'll see it right now. It's coming. Thank you. Blah 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 blah. The Dungeon Delver, RPG Grandma, all those folks. Go check them out. They do cool stuff, just like me. And I'm sure they'd love to hear that you came from Paint Minis Live. Anywho, long rant aside. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm Bill T with Paint Minis Live from the Creation Cave. We'll see you again really soon. We'll see you on Thursday, actually, at 8:45. Wednesday. I'm messing up my own schedule. We'll see you Wednesday at 8:45 Central Time, and then we'll see you Thursday after that. Same bad time, same bad place, and stay happy, stay healthy, and take care, everybody. Good night.